Hi friends, this is MD Khayyum Civil Engineer. A warm welcome to all the viewers of JLT Academy. Today I am going to discuss about types of supports and types of load. But before going to discuss in detail, I request all the viewers, those who are new to our channel, kindly like, share and subscribe to get the latest notifications. Now let's move on to discuss about the contents of the PPT. So today's contents are introduction, types of supports, fixed support, simple support, roller support, hinged support, and types of loads, point load or concentrated load, uniformly distributed load, uniformly varying load. Now let's move on to discuss in detail. Let us study about the introduction first. Why are we going to discuss about this concept? As a civil engineer, we always work with machines under structural loads, or will be going to design construction with different types of supports and load. This is a basic concept for an engineer to be aware of, do all such activities. By the end of this concept, we are expecting a student will be capable to identify all the supports and loads with their use. So these are the images showing the types of supports which are available. Now these are the image showing the types of load, supports and images. Now let us see what is meant by a support. A support is an element which bears the weight of a beam and keep it upright. Simply we can say that it is a thing which keeps beam in equilibrium. What is meant by a load? A load in this concept refers to the forces acting on structures. This is the reason these can be also called as structural loads. So you can view the images. This is the image of a support and this is the image of a load. Now let us study about in detail about the types of support. They are supporting the beam. They are classified into 4 types. Number 1, fixed support. Number 2, simple support. Number 3, roller support. Number 4, hinged support. So you can view these are the images showing the types of support. Now similarly, here also you can view roller support. This can be viewed pinned support or simple support. We can hinged support also can be known as a pinned support. Pinned support or hinged support, you can view this is the symbol, and fixed support this is the symbol, and simple support this is the symbol. And you should have the idea about reaction force. In roller support, vertical, and resisting load will be vertical load, and in pinned support or hinged support, horizontal and vertical reaction force, and vertical and horizontal loads in resisting load. Coming to fixed support, horizontal and vertical and also moments in terms of reaction force, and all types of loads, horizontal, vertical and movements also in resisting load. Similarly, coming to the simple support, the reaction force will be one vertical and resisting load will be vertical loads. So these are the image which shows you the type of support and what are the reactions coming across on the support. Now let's see in detail about what is a fixed support. This support keeps the end of the beam fixed. The beam end resists to take any kind of translation or bending moment. Fixed supports can resist vertical and horizontal forces as well as movement. Since they restrain both rotation and translation, they are also known as rigid supports. This means that a structure only needs one fixed support in order to be stable. So this is the image showing the fixed support and reaction force, horizontal, vertical and also movement. So this is the live image of a fixed support you can view. Now let's move about the simple support. In this type of support, the beam is allowed to rest freely on the support, as we can see in the below figures, and they are being observed that the beam is free to move in any direction, also to rotate about the support. So you can see simply it is resting. So this support on which simply it is resting, it is known as simple support. This also you can see the images. A simple support is basically just where the member rests on a external structure. They are quite similar to roller supports in a sense that they are able to restrain vertical forces but not horizontal forces. In simple support, only vertical forces are available, just no discussion. The member simply rests on an external structure to which the force is transferred. Now let us study about the what is meant by roller support. A roller support gives capability of movement to the respected beam connected to it, may be along normal to the guides, or it can also rotate about the support, as we can see the images are available. This is the a roller support, and this also you can view, this is also a live image of roller support. Roller supports are free to rotate and translate along the surface upon which the roller rests. The surface may be horizontal, vertical or sloped at any angle. Roller supports are commonly located at one end of long bridges in the form of bearing pads. Now let us talk about hinged support. So hinged support restricts a hinged support restricts the movement of the beam in any directions, but it will allow the beam to rotate about the support just like a door, which is an best example of hinged support. This is the example of a hinged support you can view. The hinged support is also capable of resisting forces acting in any direction of the plane. This support does not provide any resistance to rotation. The horizontal and vertical component of reaction can be determined using equation of equilibrium. So this also images also you can view about the hinge or pinned support. Now let us move towards the another types of loads. So basing on the action of forces, the loads classified into three types. Number 1, point load or concentrated load. Number 2, uniformly distributed load, and number 3, uniformly varying load. So this is the load showing point load or concentrated load, second one uniformly distributed load, and third one uniformly varying load. So here the slopes for various types of load also I have plotted here. Slope for shear force, it is positive to negative in terms of rectangular form. When it comes to the uniformly, it is a triangular form, positive to negative. When it comes to the uniformly varying load, it is also in parabolic form. So slope for bending moment in terms of concentrated load, triangle; in UDL, parabolic; and in UVL it is cubic. So this chart will also help you to analyze the slope of the various types of load. Now let us see about individual, what is meant by point load or concentrated load. When a load acts concentrated at a different point, then it is named as a concentrated load or point load. A point load is an equivalent load applied to a single point, which you can determine by calculating the total load over the object surface or length and attributing the entire load to its center. So this is the image showing the point load exactly at center. It is known as a point load. If it is having span less than, this is the example, say span is more at A and the span is less at B, that is A is greater than B, this also point load, but we will be calling it as a eccentric load. I have plotted this image also to understand about the importance of eccentric load. Now let us see about the uniformly distributed load. A distributed load is a load which is spread on some length of a beam. That is the reason it is measured in intensity with units Newton per meter. If the intensity is constant along the length, then it is named as a uniformly distributed load. Uniformly distributed load is a load that is distributed or spread across the whole region of an element, such as beam, flag. In other words, the magnitude of the load remains uniform throughout the whole element. This image shows you this is a simply supported beam and the UDL is acting W per unit length. So this is a UDL image. This is another image which shows the shear force and bending moment diagram also I have plotted. How the bending moment diagram and shear force diagram may also come. Now let us see about uniformly varying load. Whenever the load distributed along the length of the beam varies in intensity uniformly according to some law, then it is named as uniformly varying load, and we can see some conventional figures below which are representing uniformly varying loads. A UVL, we will calling it as a shortcut as UVL, is one which spread over the beam in such a manner the rate of loading varies from each point along the beam, in which load is 0 at one end and increasing uniformly to other end. This type of load is also known as a triangular load. So see, 0 to maximum load we can also see, that is changing load. So this type of load you can also imagine practically in terms of flyovers, bridges, etc., where you can find this type of uniformly varying load. That means the load will be varying continuously point by point. So friends, if you like the video a lot, I request kindly like, share and subscribe our channel JILT Academy. Thanks for watching.